go. Hey, folks, welcome to the Jeff and Dan Show. Tonight we're going to talk about yard sales and top 21 worst things to buy at a yard sale.
And top 10 most important things in life.
How about taxation and yard sales?
The classes of people who go to yard sales.
And the 11 things no one buys at your yard sale. So listen up, because it's going to come up and play, and we're going to do it right now.
Who's the greatest guys you met? Jeff and Dan, Jeff and Dan. Who's gonna be hard to forget? Jeff and Dan, Jeff and Dan. Tune in your bad mood. Jeff and Dan, Jeff and Dan. Get you laughing crazy. Jeff and Dan, Jeff and Dan. Pull up a blunt and sit right down, because it's time for the Jeff and Dan Show. Woo-hoo.
It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for the Jeff and Dan Show. Hey, you break it, you bought it, pal. Just, I don't have a sign up, but goes without saying. Well, dodge your way around the junk tonight, because we have a very special Jeff and Dan show for you.
And
It took me all day to set that shit up. Well, yes, we're having a terrific show for you here tonight. Yes, folks, we are talking about yard sales tonight. Rummage sales, garage sales, flea markets, all that stuff. But before we do, let's say hello to my best good buddy and a fellow flea master. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff. Jeff, how are you tonight, sir?
the crowd goes wild. I got my fleas over here. I'm getting them into shape. You, you fat little fuck. Yeah, that's what I said. I called you. I didn't say to say that. I said, okay.
Careful, dude. He's going to call the flea union.
I know, right? That's all right. I'm taking his ass down to the flea market anyway.
So, hey, we're talking about flea markets.
Yes, we are.
And yard sales.
Yes.
Garage sales.
Yes. And the reason why is because Jeff and Dan are actually having a yard sale.
We are having a yard sale.
Yes, we are. We are selling my fucking yard. I mean, wait a minute. That's not right. Technically, it has to be called a garage sale, but, what are you going to do?
Why? We'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
Well, first of all, do you buy yard sales a lot?
Do I buy at yard sales?
Do you stop at yard sales a lot?
Only if I'm in the mood to go yard sailing.
Only if you're in the mood to go yard sailing.
Yes, which is the reason why I have my own yard sale, because I get rid of the shit I bought at everybody else's yard sale. You pretty much know it, man. That's the way that it works. It's like recycled shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was been in my house now for a little while, and now it needs to go. So.
What was the most awesome article, or whatever sticks out in your mind, thing that you bought at a yard sale?
The coolest thing that I ever bought at a yard sale? Wow, that's a good question. Well, tell me yours, and I'll consider it.
I got a couple, and they're just things, not necessarily cool or anything, but things that just stick out in my mind.
Okay.
Number one is I like T-shirts and shirts that have numbers on them, like, oh, you must have played a sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was a senior in high school, my mom and dad, which I was awfully embarrassed as hell to stop at any yard sale back then.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to die.
I know, right?
But I went out and got a T-shirt anyway. It said it was a used T-shirt. It said Shower Villa Volunteer Fire Company, and on the back it had a number 11. It was like it was a softball shirt or something.
Yeah.
And I got that, and I loved that shirt. I don't even know whatever happened to that shirt, but I loved it.
And then everybody was like, that dude died in that shirt. Start freaking out. Right?
Another time I bought a stereo system, and this was way back in the 80s. I bought it for like $30. And it had big speakers, and it had a cassette player, and it had a turntable, and it had AM, FM radio. And I think it might even had an 8-track, but I'm not sure.
Was it in a console thing, like a wooden box thing that you could put in? You could put the
box.
albums in underneath down at the base?
Well, I didn't have a bass. I just had two speakers, and it was basically like a countertop, if you will.
Oh, okay. Right.
Not a freestanding unit, but a countertop.
I got you. With a little plastic lid that comes down over the record player. And
well, it still was boxy. Very, very boxy. Very 70s, 80s boxy.
Yeah.
And the last thing that sticks out in my mind that I actually bought, you were with me. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I separate my weed in canteen or mess kits. Do you know what mess kit is?
Yeah.
I separate my weed
Like the
in
Boy Scout mess kit.
Yes,
Yeah.
in mess kits.
Yeah.
Well, we stopped at a yard sale, and I told you I was doing this for weed, and we picked up the bottom of it, and the bottom of it said Jones. Yep.
This one's coming home with me. $40 sounds like a fucking bargain. Let's do it.
I think I bought it for a quarter.
Yeah, probably like a quarter or 50 cents.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about yard sales. Yeah, that's really you can find yard sales. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. The internet has really ruined how yard sales function. But we'll talk about that.
Or
Yes.
has it,
Enhanced it? No, I think it's ruined it.
or maybe has capital. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I already seem to disagree. But anyways, what was the most awesome? Can you think of an article most awesome?
Probably the coolest thing I ever bought would have to have been a book that was very, very difficult to find, kind of out of print book. And that sounds kind of weird, but I can't remember what it was exactly, but I remember thinking to myself, man, well, let me ask you this. Have you ever done this? Have you ever gone to a yard sale and saw something and thought to yourself, man, I'd really like to have that, but I don't know, $3 is a lot for that 10 pounds of weed. So, you know what I mean? So, like, you saw it and you're like, ooh, it's probably worth a lot of money, but, fuck it. And you left and you couldn't get it off your mind. It was like that piece of pussy that was so good. You were just like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it. There it is. I must go back and get it. And then you go back and you end up either it's not there because somebody already purchased the pussy, or or it's like you get there and it's like, yeah, all right, and you buy it up and then you take it home and then you think to yourself later on. I know I've done this numerous times. Get home and be like, why the fuck did I do that? Why did I buy this piece of shit? I don't want this. You know,
I have buyer's remorse in the fact I didn't get shit.
right?
Like last year, maybe it was this year. No, I think it don't matter. Last year or this year. I think it might have been this year. I passed up on a perfectly good Millennium Falcon for $25.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like I already have a shitty piece of junk Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And even if I got another shitty piece of junk Millennium Falcon, I'm sure I can take all the parts and make one decent Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
For $25?
Yeah.
And I fucking passed up on
What
it.
was it? Was it a Lego or?
No,
It
it
was
was
just a regular model.
It wasn't Kenner, but it was the Kenner Star Wars figures type. You know, little Han Solo Kenner.
Yeah,
figures.
the shorter versions. Yeah. Was it that size, like enough to put those guys in there? Oh,
Yeah.
so it was like a decent size, like
Yeah.
a 2 foot like wide.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I was
Okay.
like, shit.
Yeah, I know. Damn. And it's
you-
always that way because then you look at it and you go, shit, this is the one without the communications array. And people are like, what the fuck are you going on about? I'm like, ugh.
Gotta have it. Doesn't have communications.
Yes, that's right. Doesn't have the satellite dishes. Doesn't have the big dome thing on top. What the fuck, man? You know,
I tell you what kept me from buying it.
what's that?
As it was a big, huge flea market. The one up in Dillsburg, which is actually getting pretty good, dude. Check it out sometime.
Okay.
Right here in Dillsburg.
Yeah.
There's just so much to buy. I take maybe the wrong attitude of first, let's check out everything, and then let's go back and get whatever we really wanted.
Right.
And there's shit you just forget.
Right.
And then there's shit that just like, oh, Italian sausages.
I would have spent my $6 on that instead of buying all this other shit I could have gotten for a quarter a piece. Oh, you're talking about the one in northern Dillsburg, the one in where right next to Williams Grove.
Right. Well, it's in Williams Grove territory. It's in Williams Grove property.
Yeah, next to the actual where the park used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was getting that big. That's
Oh,
good though
it's
because
getting
Silver
huge.
Spring, man, Silver Springs was huge.
It was great.
Phenomenal fucking size place. So I'm hoping that the one in Dillsburg takes off. That'd be great.
It doesn't have the permanent structures but it still has plenty of outdoor vendors.
Nice. I like flea markets because the stuff is a little bit more quality. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it seems like the stuff's more quality. The fact that people wouldn't want to tote that shit all the way to a flea market for it to be crap. You know what I mean? They wouldn't want to do that necessarily. Of course, you have your swindlers who are going to be like, I'm going to sell this off even though it doesn't fucking work because nobody has electricity and they can't plug it in. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, people at a yard sale are like, yeah, this is at my house. I don't give a fuck if it doesn't work or not. Buy it.
And if they really want to sell it and it works, they'll run a cord out for you.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing with a flea market is I've noticed that there are several different types of vendors. One type of vendor you have to stay away from is the one that sets out all these boxes with all this brand new shit. $1, $1, $1.
Right.
Big old pack of sponges, $1.
Right.
And that's fine, you know, for that little stuff. But go ahead and buy the 12 pack of toothbrushes for $1. That's
Right.
no harm.
They're
But-
all shit.
right. Don't buy tools.
Right. Yeah.
Don't buy things that don't expect quality is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You're not getting DeWalt for $1.50 for a 12 pack of fucking screwdrivers.
But you may get DeWall.
Because once you use it, you're going to want to run into the wall. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. Those are the ones that I don't typically like. The ones I like are the ones that bring the unique shit, like the ones that aren't there every week. You know what I mean? Like the ones that don't have a recurring space, because those people have a better interest in selling stuff that people are going to be interested in. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you have your space and you're there every single week, you've got your same boxes of shit, you put your same boxes of shit out and wait for people to pick through it or whatever. Yeah, you know, it's the same shit. But if you go there and other people are there, brand new, oh man, look, all this Star Wars stuff. Hey, you know, have a good time. So, but yeah, you can find a lot of good deals at flea markets. That's the other thing too.
Yes, you can.
Although haggling at flea markets is a little different than it is at yard sales, but we'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes.
Yes. Let me ask you another yard sale-y question.
Okay, let's go for it.
What was the dumbest thing you've ever sold or bought or seen at a yard sale?
Yeah, a mason jar. I shit you not, a mason jar. Just one that says Mason on it. It's like last year's model, you know. You're just like, it's glass. And that really, honestly, any yard sale that I go to, if they have tables of glass, I avoid them. I drive by. Unless there's another table of like high fidelity equipment, then I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that, you know.
I don't think glass sells, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. What kinds of things do you look for? What catches your eyes at these peon junk swaps?
Basically, electronics is always a big one. Yeah, if there's black and gray, that's what I always tell my wife. If there's black and gray, let's stop. You know what I mean? Because I want to take a look and see what they got. You know, they might have some shit there that's like
they're Raiders.
Yeah, it might be really cool shit. So yeah, but what's the dumbest thing you ever saw or sold or seen at a yard sale? Would you say? Would you say, good sir?
You know, I really can't come up with a good answer. The thing that does keep coming back to me is what I find junk and stupid. Some other people really like, oh my God, I've been looking for that. And like some these little tiny things that I buy, some people are like, why in the hell would you even think of putting that out? Like I'll buy a little old beat up piece of shit Matchbox.
Right. But if it's old, you can look underneath and tell what year it's made.
Right, even if it's not worth anything. Or the last time I was in the Dillsburg flea market, I bought little plastic animals and some little plastic junk. They looked like ladders. They looked like bars. They looked like junk stuff, and it was just for my details. But it cost $2, and it didn't even take up more than a mouse.
Yeah. $2. Damn, you paid $2 for that shit? Holy fuck, man.
Did you ever gift a yard sale an item? Did you ever? How did I? Did you ever gift a yard sale item?
Oh yeah.
Have
definitely.
you really?
Oh yes. Yeah. Almost every gift you've ever gotten from me. No, I have seriously. Especially if you go to the place and you find that the stuff is like brand new. You know, it's like, oh, it's still in box, still instructions, all that shit. Why not? You know what I mean?
It also depends what it is. Like if I'm going to be tickled, like tickled to death if you go out and bought me some O scale buildings and wrapped them up. Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, so he drops the hint of what he wants. O scale buildings. No, I mean, you know, I'm kind of that person that like, if I know it's something you're going to like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter its age. It doesn't matter I got it at a yard sale. That doesn't matter. I'm going to get it for you. I don't care if it's $50 or 50 cents. I'm going to get it for you and I'm going to gift it to you. And if it's something that you enjoy, then why not? You know, that's really what it comes down to.
Two more questions. Have you ever got a weird class of people feeling like you were either too good to be there or you just felt miserable, too poor, like a piece of shit to be there? Let me explain. Should I?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Like you were too good is you went up to somebody's cheesy ass yard sale and all they had was like baby toys and dirty baby toys. And,
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And they didn't have much at all. And just like, oh my God, I'm too good for this. I hate feeling like I'm too good for that. But it's like, you're poor.
Right. Exactly.
Or-
And those are the ones that you get guilted into because you start thinking to yourself,
Buying a little Elmo toy.
right. I'm going to pay a quarter for it because these people need food. You know what I mean? Here I am having a fucking yard sale to raise money for like advertising for the show, and these people are like trying to eat. You know what I mean? I feel sometimes though when it wasn't always like that because I've been in that poor situation, but sometimes now, knowing that I have a little bit of money that I can spend, I feel like whenever I go to those kinds of yard sales, I just feel like, you know what, here, I'm just going to buy this and just put it right over here in your trash can. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you an extra $5, man. Go get some ramen noodles or some lemon heads for your crack addiction, for your meth addiction, because you're going to need that shit, No,
Here,
seriously.
here's
I
another
just
$5 to buy some bleach.
scrub out your twat with that, please, so you don't have any more children. What? No. It's fucking horrible. No, I think it's crazy because you see these people and you feel really, really bad for them. And what's really weird is they're probably going in and getting in a Lamborghini after they're done. They're like, I found this shit. So, I'm gonna sell it right here on the street somewhere, make it look like I'm really super stupid poor, but I just need to put another gallon of gas in my Lamborghini. Anyway.
Have you ever felt the opposite way? Like, oh my God, I'm a worthless piece of trash.
Yes. Yeah. You can go to some of these gated communities and stuff. The really good example, I won't give the name of the place, but it's pretty local. They have a gated community, and you go in there, and although you know quite a few people that might live there, and you know quite a few people that might live there are not upscale, shall we say, everybody in there always acts like they're above everybody else.
I think I know where you mean.
Yeah. And you get there, and they're looking at you like, another one of these.
They do act upscale. And like the only difference between their house and your house is homeowner association fees.
Right. That and maybe a little bit of a view of the lake. That's about it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I have a view of water, but what are you going to do? But yeah, exactly, man. It's... Yeah, I have been in that situation. It has been kind of shit. Oh my God, look at that! What do we got? We have some kind of visitor with us now. What the hell are you doing in here?
I'm going to close the door.
Oh, are you?
You're
You're not gonna be playing in there, are you?
We're having sound off.
What the fuck is sound off?
Playing Fortnite with the sound off.
Oh, okay. I got you. I thought it was a game you were playing called Sound Off. Sound off, 1, 2, sound off, 3, 4, as loud as you can.
Are you in cheerleading?
No.
No, I was, and it's like 6th grade.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. This is my daughter, Caitlin. She's in here talking to
I
us
know
right
who she
now.
is.
Oh, no, not talking to you. I'm talking to the people on the air. Yes, apparently your sister's car is missing transmission fluid. I don't know why. But our buddy is actually going to be looking into it. So,
Is he fixing it today?
no, he's got to get it tomorrow. So it's going to be a little while before, and he's going to check it out. So everything's good there.
She has hit 3 deer in that.
I know. Well, she's hit 2. Mom's hit 1. That car is like, those little things you get that you put on the front of your car that has like the deer sounds. It makes a whistle sound and it kind of makes deer run away. Well, apparently we put them on backwards. So like every fucking deer in the whole valley comes running at the car as quickly as possible just to hit it. It's been hit 3 fucking times by deer. 3. How the hell I've had other cars for many, many years longer than this other car. And I've never had them hit that many times. Not even once.
What kind is the car hitting the deer in?
What kind? What?
What kind of car is the deer?
Oh, it's a. Oh,
What?
are you asking what car is the deer driving?
That's what I'm getting at. No, what kind of car were the deer hit in?
It's a Mazda Protege.
That's why.
Yeah. Just take off the little emblem and put a Ford underneath of it. Yeah, that's really what it is anyway.
A Ford can't hit nothing, so.
All right, Caitlin. Well, it was good to see you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Now that you no longer live here, you
Have a great night.
Anywho.
Yeah, now I see them more now that they don't live here.
I know, right? It's like they come to visit and shit during the show, you know. But no, anyway, so yeah, we're talking about yard sales.
Yes. And one last question here before we get into the meat of the show.
Last meat of the show. Okay.
Have you ever thought of buying the services of a hooker at a yard sale was a good idea?
Sure. Always. I'll be like, you and your little 222. Come on, bring your fucking dog. No.
Let's talk about pornography at sales at yard
pornography. Yes, I've seen that.
I have too. Does it sell?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have seen it, and I think it's usually on the weekend, so I'm thinking at that point it probably hasn't sold. Although, I do know people who have bought porn at yard sales.
Hopefully not recently.
No. It's been many, many years.
You're a fool if you pay for it.
Right. Well, the only thing I think that people really would go for at a yard sale when it comes to that are like antique magazines.
Collector Playboys.
Yeah, collector Playboys or Hustlers or Penthouses. The really early versions, the one where there were no showing the insides of women.
All the chicks are dead now.
Right. Hustler, the new Hustler, they've got the women so wide open you can see their brain. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit we're talking about. It's fucking gross. You know, it's just fucking horrible. So, yeah, at one point in time, they were like, oh, we're just going to show naked ladies. That was Playboy. Then Penthouse came along and said, you know what, we're going to show naked ladies and maybe a few guys with that too. Oh, and lesbians. Let's do lesbians. And then they put that in there. And then Hustler came out and said, you know what? Fuck that. We're going to eat the skanky bitches. Just get them to open up their fucking legs. Look at that shit. Oh, it's hanging down. Oh. Take pictures of it. Put it in the magazine. Let's go. Then at some point in time in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, they said, you know what? Our magazine subscriptions are starting to drop a little bit. Let's put things in them. So they have men in them now, going into the women. Penetration, basically what I'm getting at. Anyway, yeah, we're about going porn again, man. Porn was a good episode. If you haven't listened to porn, go listen to porn. The porn episode was really good.
Yeah.
But
porn sale, yardography, it's all fun.
Yardography, I love it. That's good. So anyway, yeah, so definitely. Have you ever had a yard sale? Like you personally?
Not where I've been in charge of it. I've been a minor assistant to my wife's yard sale at home.
Okay.
One year I was a little bit more of a minor assistant. I don't like putting them on because they're a lot of work.
Okay.
It's a lot easier spending 15 minutes and $5-10 or more and taking your stuff home as opposed to taking all of your stuff out, putting it in the yard, and taking all of it in except for 15 items.
Right. Yeah. Just be glad I have a burn pit. All the shit you guys aren't taking home. Yeah, it's making a visit.
Well, we'll have to. I've got some ideas. We'll talk about that yard sale thing afterwards.
Okay.
But hey, why don't we see what the top 21 worst things to buy and why at yard sales?
Well, that sounds fucking awesome. Let's do it.
Do we have any sound, any music for this? Or
Pack it up, pack it into a box and put it out on the yard to give it up for the locks and everybody's gonna come down and have a yard sale.
Free!
Yeah.
Free!
Huh. All right.
Okay.
Good.
21 things you should never buy at garage sales.
Okay.
Coming in at number 21, helmets. Talking about bicycle helmets.
Wonder why.
That makes perfectly sense. Nobody washes helmets after they've sweat a whole day and biking uphill 4 miles.
Yeah, the one day that they used it. You know damn well that's what it is.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
Child car seats coming in number 20 this week. Like helmets, car seats are really only meant to protect in one accident.
Right. Especially, used ones. You don't know if they've been used, you know.
Number 19, which I kind of disagree if you know what you're buying.
Right.
Tires.
Could be.
You don't. It says this author says if they've been in an accident, tires are unlikely to be unstable and unreliable. That's what weights are for.
Right. That's what balancers are for, yeah.
Yeah. And now this goes, number 18 goes without saying, I think, but apparently, everybody needs a sign. Wetsuits and swimsuits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
No.
because balls, it's just enough. Just say balls, and that's pretty much it. I know exactly what you mean. But you could say vaginas, and I'd be like, okay, let's do that.
Vaginas.
Yeah, vaginas, yes. There's been a vagina. Anyway, go.
Well, the only wet swimsuit I would buy would be something that was just freshly peeled off at night. Never mind. Another goes without saying.
Okay.
Coming in number 18 this week.
I'd love to come in another number 18.
That's like a 10 and an 8.
That's a pair. We can do that.
Or 2 9s.
Dan knows his math. Fucking A.
Learn math with Menage a Trois.
Cool.
Coming in number 17,
Okay.
cribs. Aside from the mattress thing, why? Oh, changing safety standards. That's right. The government controls everything. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because the little bars that they put on the cribs, way back in the day when we were kids, you could sit your head through them, fucking pull your head back out. You can do all kinds of shit. You could practically squeeze through it if you really wanted to, as an
Oh
adult.
man, the bars that were put up in my crib, over here was just all beer.
With the hard liquor up front, with the poker in the back. Anyway,
Coming in number 15 in our survey,
I'm coming in number 15.
laptops or other devices.
Why?
I guess because,
I guess they want non-real users to, not buy them. That makes sense.
no. You know what? I've found plenty of electronics. They're cheap enough. You get a couple plays out of them. What the hell? So what if they're junk?
Right.
You only spent, what, $5 on that?
Yeah, well, you said laptops, though, right?
It said laptops or other devices.
Yeah.
So,
I know what to do with a laptop if it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I have a feeling they're saying you're going to get screwed in the end if you buy them. But I won't, because I know exactly what I'm looking at,
that and, well, I guess maybe. Coming in number 14,
All right.
TVs.
Now we're getting illegal. TVs.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Buyer beware, but,
Especially right now.
well, the thing with TVs is technology today, obsolete tomorrow.
Right.
So even if it is a flat screen,
Right. Well, yeah, that too, but you definitely don't buy CRTs anymore. The big old tube TVs, you don't buy those anymore because you cannot get rid of them. There's no electronics recycling places that'll take them anymore. You have to pay $25 to have them taken. I shit you not. And the only place that'll take them usually is Best Buy. So I came up with a great idea for it. You know what? Everything around that tube burns. So I'm just going to burn everything around it, just break the shit out of that tube and put it in the trash. They're like, oh my God, you're contaminating it. No, fuck you, I'm not contaminating it. Little teeny tiny bit of mercury and lead's never going to kill anybody.
in a landfill.
I should say it the way that it's supposed to be. A little teeny tiny bit of mercury and lead is never going to hurt anybody. Way to fuck everybody up.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't want anybody near that landfill getting killed. now.
Exactly. Well, yeah. That's the
Here,
thing.
have a drink of water.
That's right. Everybody's like, oh man, don't put it. Yeah, don't put it in the landfill. Don't put it in the landfill. Well, fucking came out of the ground to begin with. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, it depends how long the landfill is there. Coming in number 13 goes without saying. However, it's a hot market.
Underwear.
Shoes.
Oh, shoes. Yeah.
Shoes is a hot market.
Yeah.
I have a couple of eBayers come into my post office
Selling all
passing
shoes.
along shoes.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe it.
No way would I put my feet, which are already skanky enough. I'm not saying I've got Queen Elizabeth feet.
I don't think Queen Elizabeth has Queen Elizabeth feet.
She might have somebody else's.
She's probably got some scaly looking motherfuckers and she knows she's like, don't touch my feet. Get the fuck away from my feet. Doesn't make me have to bash you. And she takes off her shit and she's got like 10 layers of dead dry skin all around them. They're all crusty and shit and her toenails are all curled and fucking yellow. And
Of course they're real. They're not mine, but they're real.
Then she's like, wah! And she gets up on a perch and like fucking sits there.
We just lost everybody that listens to us in Britain.
Sorry, Englanders. I'm sorry, but the Queen is a parrot. Exactly. Anyway, no, most people in England they respect the authority of the Queen. They just don't. They're not so sure that the Queen needs to exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like there shouldn't necessarily be a monarchy. She has absolutely no power.
She has no power, but for some reason
She has respect.
and she's earned that.
Right.
She seems to be a very I can't think of the word I want to use, but a very good woman.
Yeah, she's
I mean,
wholesome.
she's respectful.
Yeah, she's respectful. She's wholesome. Well, she's been raised under that. You know what I mean? She's all her life. She's been nothing but
Yeah,
royalty.
but she could be a snot. Like,
Well, she kind of is, and that's the thing.
I don't think so.
No, not in what we know and what we see, but there are times where if you were to ask, like, the guards or the service people that work at Buckingham Palace, I'm pretty sure they're going to come back and say, oh, God, she's a bitch, you know what I mean? Because that's exactly what they see. They see her like, come and get me my bath, you fuckwits, and that's, you know what I mean? Kind of that shit.
Get your bloody bath yourself.
That's right. You over fucking bearing piece of shit.
Did you happen to watch America's Got Talent last night?
Not last night. My wife recorded it, though, apparently, so it's probably there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Me and Simon Cowell are the only two people that think that one contestant up there was funny. He was hilarious. He was a comedian.
I have to watch. Did you see the one last week with the girl, with the woman, the old lady who was a comedian?
Kind of chunky.
Yeah, she's like old
I'm
New
a
York.
ballerina.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was funny
yeah,
too.
she was good.
Did you see last week's with the Satan girl? Satan
Yes.
magician.
Oh, the Satan magician.
Yeah, you didn't see that. Oh, she was good.
No.
The
Oh, the creepy girl.
Yeah.
The one that looked like Samara from The Ring. Yeah, the one who was carrying the doll.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
like,
Actually, she looked like a Black Wednesday.
Yeah, she was trying to be Samara, which is the girl from The Ring.
Oh,
She's the one. If you've ever seen anybody ever showing anything from The Ring, it's always the girl coming out of the well. She comes out of the well, and then all of a sudden she's like up. It's on a TV, and you see her coming up out of the well, and all of a sudden she's right there, and then all of a sudden she's right there in front of the TV set, and then all of a sudden she's coming out of the TV set and into the living room.
oh,
Yeah, it's scary as fuck.
carrying a dolly.
No, in that case, I don't think she is. Not at that point. But the dolly thing is terribly fucking scary too. But there were quite a few other people that tried to be kooky and scary, and they were all just like not having it. All four exes.
I guess maybe that's what made her look good. She was acceptable in that realm of scary,
Right.
weird,
Right,
Where the
right,
other
right.
ones were just like, Howie Mandel, go on, just keep going.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's like, "You're just gonna walk out? Yeah, just keep going." Yeah, it was pretty good. No, but she was freaky because they kept asking her questions and she would just like not answer, and she would just like twitch her head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she'd do the no, and she'd put her head to the left and start shaking it a whole bunch like she was saying no, but not really. It was funny. But anyway,
Oh, anyways, goes without saying, coming in at number 12 in our survey,
highly illegal.
sheets and pillowcases. Now, I ask you this because I'm really asking myself.
Gum stains on your pillow.
Right. Why would I not buy sheets and pillowcases where I can obviously see the people who have had sexual relationships in them?
Yes, because
But-
they're worn out in the middle.
But I'll go and spend the night in any motel. Why is that? Why is that about you, Jeff?
She said to me, "Do you smoke after sex?" I said, "I don't know. I never looked." That's right. What are you going to do?
Coming in at number 10.
Ooh.
Coming in at number 10. Baby bottles. Apparently these nipples can break and wear out. I did not know that, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want those type anyway. you would want to replace the nipples. You just want the outer shell, but yeah, the bottles themselves will break. The only ones that don't are the ones that, remember those kinds that the even flow, not the even flow type, the
Even flow.
runs around like butterflies. Okay, but no, it's it has it's like just a plastic shell, and then it has a bag on the inside of it. Do you remember those bottles? Yeah, those are the only ones you should buy at a yard sale, and even those are outdated. Because they have those enormous fucking nipples on them. You ever seen the nipples on one of those things? It's like a huge woman tit nipple.
Dude,
it's like,
I
good
like
God.
large nipples.
So do I. Yeah, I'm a big nipple freak. I don't like tits. I'm not a really big tit guy, but I'll play with titties. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm not really a tit guy either, but I'll look at them.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, man? You're not a tit man, but if somebody starts getting them out, you're sort of like, what? Do it again. Do it
Just
again.
as I imagined.
I didn't see you exactly. Everybody has their unique nipples patterns. You can tell.
Yes, they do. Yes, and
Exactly.
there's a word for the brown spot.
Yeah, or areola.
Areola.
Yeah, areola. Yeah.
Sounds like a plumber item. Yeah, pass me the areolas. I need two of them.
Clear. Anyway,
Coming in number 9, goes without saying again, worn plates, pots, and other cookware.
I disagree with that one. I bought all my. I don't know if you remember these, the Paul Revere sets, the copper bottoms. Basically, they have the copper at the base of them. They're
Oh,
like
and they're
frying pans or
silver?
cook pans. Yeah,
Yeah,
silver, but they
okay.
have copper bottoms. Yeah, Paul Revere's. Every one that I own, except for the initial set I bought, which I don't think I even have anymore. I bought from flea markets and from flea markets, yard sales, and a really big one, which is one we didn't actually add to the list, which is the Goodwill stores. Not less necessarily Goodwill. But like
Those
the ones,
type of stores.
yeah,
Thrift.
thrift shop, yeah,
Thrift
there
shops.
you go, yep, because it was 99 cents.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wouldn't buy them.
yeah,
Especially today, the way I look at it now, cookware is so damn cheap. You know what? You burn up a pan. Oh, fucking well, they're only $5-10. The cheap one, just go
Yes.
buy another one.
yeah, but that's the thing, man. You don't know what you're getting into your food when you fucked on them up. You know what I mean? Like those cheap Teflon ones. You go to
Throw
use
it away.
you go to use a plastic spatula and scrape off half the Teflon, and you're like, what are these black specks in my food? Dude, I don't know how many years of I don't know how many years of Teflon I've actually consumed, but I probably have a pretty straightforward flushing system that just
Nothing
ate some
sticks
shit.
inside
That's
of there,
right,
man.
exactly. No wonder I shit 2 seconds after I eat. Anyway,
Coming in at number 8.
all right.
DVDs, CDs, and VHS tapes.
That I don't agree with because of Blu-ray. Blu-ray is kind of expensive. You can buy a Blu-ray; it's like $25 right now. Still,
Well,
they're coming down in price, but
Dude,
not so much.
who's buying home movies anymore?
I mean, you like DVDs and shit like that. Yeah,
DVDs, Blu-rays.
still people buy them, man. Still people buy them. Not everybody has a system to go in and put their stuff in. They don't necessarily have a computer, and a lot of people aren't computer savvy, so they don't have things like Netflix per se. But they do have their phone, and a lot of assholes watch shit on their phone, which is just like, hey, I know what? Let's just make it as small as fucking possible so the
Yeah.
screens that we can watch shit on.
And the sound is minimal quality as
Right,
possible.
exactly. You're not getting the full essence of the movie by watching it on your phone. So stop that shit, people. Unless you're in prison, then that's okay. Watch it on your phone.
Coming in at number 5,
Okay.
upholstered furniture. Again, that should go without saying. I don't know if you've got a cat and you just soak that fucker with Febreze.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
Well, that's why I
you
always
look
smell
like
it.
Nice people.
That's why you always walk up and smell it. But I will not buy furniture, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
Number one, I don't know where it's been sitting this whole time. I had a nasty encounter one time, and you lived with us when we did it. We used to pick up furniture off the street stuff, take it in the house, and hey, look, new furniture. Well, far fucking out, let's play. And come to find out, it was loaded with earwigs.
Bow, bow. Was you loaded with what?
Earwigs.
Oh, fuck
Yeah, the
me.
little pincher bugs. And they flooded out of the bottom of it. And I
Oh,
was like,
fuck me.
holy shit. I was like, I better get this out of Dan's room.
What? Never mind, I don't want to know.
Sorry. Yeah. No, so I mean, I had bad adventures with that. But now, where we're at, located in the country, it's actually getting worse with bed bugs. bed bugs are getting bad. I mean, literally, like every place that you can think of has bed bugs somewhere. Not every house, not at all, but like every like motel, every some restaurants even have them. You know what I mean? And you're taking that shit home, putting it in your furniture, and then setting it out for sale. And then somebody fucking comes along and buys that shit up and takes it home to their home. And guess what? You've already got bed bugs because these fuckers breed like you wouldn't believe. And then they've now got bed bugs and they're breeding the shit. And it's almost impossible to get rid of bed bugs permanently. It is. It's very, very difficult. And I know how to do it because we had bed bugs.
How do you do it?
There's a thing called diatomaceous earth, which is completely non-toxic. You can use as much as you want of it and put it pretty much everywhere. But if you get it, usually if you get bed bugs, you start finding out that they're in one room, specifically one room. And it's just like lice. Lice, I don't care what anybody says, it used to have a stigma. If you had lice, oh my God, you're dirty people. Oh my God, you're disgusting people. That's not true. Because I know quite a few kids that live in that little rich community that I was talking about earlier that have had lice. Mm-hmm. It's not a dirty person thing. As a matter of fact, the more dirty you are, the least likely you are to get lice. Believe it or not.
And that's why they've left the Mexican community alone.
Oh, you were going to fucking hell. I'm going to watch, man. I'm going to watch. I'm going to drive you there, but I'm going to watch. No, but
it's
seriously.
Solo el just joking, el kidding.
El kidding-o. No. No, seriously, that's the thing, though. If you're dirty, and you can find this proof online. If you're dirty, your hair follicles are very difficult to cling to because they're oily. And they can't grasp a hold of them, and they can't lay eggs in your hair. So they die, or they just don't exist. They fall off and go someplace else. Which leads me back to bed bugs, because bed bugs work very similarly. You can go someplace, and one of the places that I'm going to mention right now is probably going to freak you out, and you're probably never going to want to do it again, but movie theaters is a really, really shitty place for bed bugs. Because while you're sitting there enjoying a movie, they're crawling up your leg and fucking biting the shit out of you, and you don't even realize it. 9 times out of 10, you don't realize it. And then they fall in your sock, and then you bring them home, and then you get them all in your fucking house. Bed bugs happen for whatever reason. Why? Nobody knows. You don't know how you got them. You could have bought something, brought it into your house. Bam. All of a sudden, you got bed bugs.
Honey, we got snakes.
Damn it, we've got a full outbreak of hippos. No, but seriously, diatomaceous earth. I cannot say any more about that.
What kind
we got
of
them.
application is it? Is it a fogger?
It's
or?
no, it's powder.
Powder?
It's like talcum powder. But the thing is it's very, very, diatomaceous earth is very, very small crystal-like pieces. You can't even feel them. You can put them between your fingers and they're smooth.
What do they do? Eat them, or do they?
No, they breathe them, or they get them on them and they can't get rid of them, and it stabs them to death.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it kills everything. It doesn't matter what you have in the room. It kills it, except for your pets.
Dude, it got my goldfish. It's got a ransom note right here.
That's right. My fish thought it was Coke. I don't know. Anyway, no, but seriously, and that's the thing. You leave it in the room. You don't have to do anything else. That's it. The only thing that I would suggest, though, is you need to take almost every piece of furniture that's in the room and burn it. Or put it out by the beds or out by the roadside, and always do the right thing, even though it's very shitty that it happens. Please don't be a dick and put it out by the roadside and let other people take it. Just right on there, just in spray paint or whatever. Just put on their bed bugs. That is the coolest fucking thing you can do. I don't look down on anybody that has a bed sitting out in front of their house that said bed bugs on it. Because
I think maybe you would have less trouble if you would have write nigger on it. I'm serious.
Oh, geez. Here we go. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, you're right. You're right. People will probably have less of a stigma if that were the case. But especially in small, shitty little towns. But yeah, I think, if you put the word bed bug on it, I think people are a little more... I look at you in a more positive light because now I know, hey, man, you had bed bugs. Shit happens. But you were cool enough to take your shit and put it out by the curb and let people know that don't take it because this is fucked up. You know what I mean? It's just very cool of people to do that kind of shit. And that's why I look at them and I go, hey, that's awesome of you. But that's the reason why we don't buy furniture anymore like that. We go and buy I could have bought the couch for $50 on fucking Craigslist, but no, we had to go to Ashley and buy it for $1,700 because that's where they have fucking no bed bugs. Bullshit. They got bed bugs there too, man. Fucking anybody tells you different flying.
Any bug on a bed is a bed bug.
Exactly, that's true. That's like my favorite saying. People are like, well, make sure it's at room temperature. I'm like, motherfucker, it could be 22 degrees below zero in here. And it's room temperature. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. So,
All right, smartass. How about 70 degrees Fahrenheit?
that's right. And make sure that water is lukewarm. No, I'm going to make sure it's Darth Vader warm. Anyway.
Coming in at number 7.
It's coming in a 7.
Clothes that require a tailored fit.
Yes.
No shit.
That's that's
shit,
unless
really?
of course that's when you stand somebody up and you go, excuse me, are these tailored? It is? Stand up. Stand back to back with me. Damn, we have the exact same shoulders. All right, very cool. Very cool. Let me see your penis.
I like
I can't
that.
put the pants on. The penis is too small.
This reminds me of that commercial. I forget what they're advertising, but it was a home service fee, and the young babysitter goes, or the lady of the house. They come home, the lady and the man of the house come home, and then there's the babysitter, and the kids passed out, and the dog's eating pizza.
Oh yeah.
And she's wearing these new shoes,
and she's like, "Where's my $40?" or whatever.
and then the wife goes, "Are those my shoes?"
She goes,
She goes, "Yes, we're the same size in shoes."
and that's right. We have the same size shoes, just not the same taste. Yeah.
Coming in number 12.
Yes. Oh, wait a
Video-
minute. We're going out of order here. We were just
I'm not
at
even
7.
sure where I'm at. They're not numbered. I just when
Oh,
I
okay.
get to the last one,
There we go.
Be number 1.
Okay, I think I know what number 1 is.
I think I do,
We
too.
kind of discussed it, but anyway.
Coming in at number 17.
17.
I disagree with this. Video games.
Oh, I definitely disagree with that.
You could buy some good fun titles.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For whatever your system that you use.
Right. The only thing, though, and I will say this, the only thing, though, is you don't know if it's going to work when you get it home. Sometimes they're scratched up. That's the only reason why I could think they probably have that on the list.
True.
Yeah.
True. But then again, you don't spend $50 for it either.
Yeah. Yeah.
You spend what you're willing to risk. $5.
Right. Yeah, $5 is all right. Especially if it's a decent title and you can look at the disc too. You know, and go, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, cool. And take it home and bitch when it's fucked up.
Coming
Anyway.
in at number 9. Fragrance or makeup.
Yeah. It's like, here, buy this used deodorant. This toothbrush has only got 150 uses.
Used by an old lady, garage kept.
She had cleaned all 6 of her teeth.
Only after oral sex.
Is that a pube?
It's a pube with a view.
Ah, shit.
Coming in at number 7. This
Number
goes
7.
without saying. Why does anybody... Okay, whatever. That's down the road.
Gotcha.
Stuffed animals.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. At one
Why
point
would
in
you...
time,
Why do... Yeah.
there's sometimes you go to yard sales and it's those people with the dirty, broken toys where you're just kind of like, and you look down and there's that fucking bin of stuffed animals and they're a quarter. But dude, that's the reason why they sell them, because that's the people that get there and they're just kind of like, I don't want to buy any of your shit, but I feel really bad for you. So I'm going to buy this one stuffed animal for a quarter, the one that's retarded and doesn't have a left arm.
And I didn't know it, but I just happened to pick up Bedbug Panda.
It's creeping me the fuck out, man. I do. Sometimes I like to. I do like to go through the little bins and find like the creepiest little toy that you can find, and then buy that. And then people be like, "Okay, you're gonna buy that? Go ahead." And I'm like, "Here, have this quarter. I want you to eat this box of ramen noodles. Here you go." But no, freaking yeah, and it's just really creepy. And then like my wife's like, "I don't understand why you bought that." I'm like, "Well, people need the money and." This thing's fucking creepy. I like creepy shit, you know. And I take it home and burn the hell out of it because it's creepy. Anyway.
Coming in at number 6.
All right.
We've already discussed this, but we'll discuss them again.
Disgusting.
Running shoes.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We did sneakers earlier.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Hey, again, market for it elsewhere, I'd tell you that.
Lots and lots of sweat in those bad boys.
Coming in at number 5.
Oh, and athlete sweat. I forgot about that too.
Oh, guess what? Coming in at number 1,
Ooh.
the number 1 thing not to buy at a yard sale,
Is?
hats. I totally agree with that.
I agree with that, but I actually thought it was going to be mattresses. Because mattresses, you definitely don't want to buy a mattress. You were talking about bed linens and shit. I'm like, fucking mattresses is even worse because when you piss on it, you can clean it off the bed linens. Don't worry about it. My mom, before she died on this bed, shit and pissed all over it several times.
Again, it goes back to that. It goes back to that
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
of why do you feel so strange, Jeff? Whenever you look at the bed sheets and you just think of the nastiness that went on in that, and you scream and run from the terror,
Right.
and you think about that for days upon days, and you can't get that thought out of your mind. But yet you'll go to any Motel 6 and run $50 and sleep like a rock.
Exactly. Usually because I'm exhausted as fuck and the car just ain't going to cut it. No, seriously. I know what you mean. And to be
A
honest.
Motel 6 even.
Yeah, Motel 6 is.
That's where all the kinky sex goes on.
Yeah.
With all the kinky
That's where all the butt stuff happens.
the butt stuff.
The butt stuff. I'm going to take it in the butt now. I know there's been a video camera in here somewhere. Yeah.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I'd take it in the butt. What? We didn't even ask you.
Oh.
Oh, okay then. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I'd take it in the butt. Damn.
Sir, would you be willing to have sex with a... Would you be willing to have anal sex with a monkey for this Klondike bar?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was me getting in the ass. Anyways,
Yes. Anywho.
well, that concludes our wonderful segment of the top 21 things you never should buy at a yard sale
That's right.
or a garage sale.
Yes.
Um,
Let's talk about Star. Okay, let's not. I was going to talk about Solo, but yeah, let's not do that. Let's keep talking about some yard sale and shit.
how about taxation and yard sales?
Can you think of anything that's not on that list that you would not buy? That you would think would not be a good reason to buy? Hats is definitely a good one. I don't like buying hats either, unless it's something like I go, I will never in my life ever find this hat again. Ever. I have bought hats at yard sales. Oh, yes, I have. And I have worn them right away. And then I got itchy, and then I stopped wearing
hair started falling out.
I got alopecia from fucking wearing that hat. Yummy. But no, seriously, that's that. Can you think of anything else that you'd see at a yard sale where you're just like, nah, I'm not going to buy that?
Boxed or any kind of food except for like somebody making hot dogs or barbecue sandwiches.
Right there
Or
on
any
the
kind
spot.
of food like boxes of cereal or canned beans and stuff like that.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I should put a big old sign out there and just get some fucking refried beans, a little bit of meat, and some fucking tortillas, and just be like, hey, man, I'm making shitty diapers, man. You want one? They used to sell those at the Dead shows, apparently. They're like a huge thing out in the when you do like tailgating and stuff.
Shitty diapers.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
Yeah,
Shitty diapers.
Shitty
Diapers.
Yeah, shitty diapers. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. But basically all it is just beans with a little bit of meat and tortillas, and they're like fucking smeared all over it, and then like you roll it up and then like smoke it. I mean, eat it. So yeah, anytime you roll it up, you know. All right, I got something crawling around over here. I gotta find it.
It could possibly be a bed bug.
It could be. It
Yeah.
could be, you bastard.
Bed bugs.
I'm gonna kill you if I can find you. I can't find you, so fuck you. All right, anyway. Studio's infested. It's infested. So what else you got? What are you doing? Are you taking pictures over there?
Yes,
Ooh,
I am
what is
taking
that?
very, very.
I'm taking
pictures.
selfies. You know what? Hey, speaking of which, just real quick, I think it'd be a really cool idea. Reach out to us at jeffanddan.com. Go visit our contact area. or email us at jeffanddan@jeffanddan.com. And let us know, man, if you'd be interested in a Patreon thing. We would love to do a Patreon. And basically what we're going to do for our Patreon, if everybody doesn't know what that is, because there's a lot of people that probably don't, it's a place for us to build fan base. And the fan base that we can build, what we do is we give you a subscription option or a one-time only option where you can provide a little bit of cash, like $1 or $2 or $5 or $666 because we're evil as fuck. And then you get an opportunity to watch or listen to us doing the show or doing after show stuff. And one of the really cool things I am thinking about doing is some of the stuff that we have to do after the show in order to make the show for the next weeks and stuff like that, like the little commercials that we do and things like that. Little inside tidbits of information, stuff that you get to learn about us and about the show, which is really, really cool. Like you get to see my really super messy ass studio.
Yes.
Yes, the Jeff and Dan studio right now is really fucking torn up. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm a slob. But the other fact is that we're getting ready to do yard sale stuff. So, we have to kind of keep that, Patreon. Patreon.com is what we're considering doing. So if you're interested in doing that, if you're interested in being part of our fan base, if you want to be part of the Jeff and Dan army, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not to make it sound like we're going to be like Heil Hitler or anything like that, but, we could have an army of people that are going to go out there and do the positive things for the world. Yes, we're crazy as shit, and yes, we talk about a bunch of fucking stuff, and we go off and we curse and we do a bunch of crazy shit. But Dan and I, at heart, are really, really super nice bigots and racist, too, while we're thinking about it. No, seriously, we're really nice guys. We really are. And some of our biggest charities that we'd love to raise money for could really use cash. And that's the reason why we kind of want to raise money. That and the fact that we want more fans, too. We want people to join us. Join the Jeff and Dan army. So, give us a shout out. Let us know. Jeff and Dan at jeffanddan.com or just visit jeffanddan.com. Visit the contact us section in the upper left-hand corner is where the menu's at. Just click on that and go to the contact us, and then you can contact us and let us know. We would love to have you on Patreon. We would. So, there's that advertisement. We did ads. Do we need to do any commercials right now, Dan? Do we need to? Are you good to go?
I am good to go.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
excellent. So let's go on. What else do we have? Who else do we have?
We have taxation and yard sales.
Yes. Let's discuss taxation and yard sales.
All right.
In most communities in the state of Pennsylvania, and probably nationwide, you're not required to get a permit in order to do a yard sale.
You're required?
You're not required.
You're not required.
Not necessarily. Now, if you're in a big city or in a suburb like that, you probably are because, they want to make their money. Bunch of assholes. Anyway, the fact of the matter is there's some places in some states, and Pennsylvania is one of them, where they want you to report the amount of money you've made from your yard sale. Okay, because it is a taxable income.
I disagree.
I totally disagree as well, and I'm going to explain why.
Well, I'm also going to mention that if you go ahead and say you can tax that shit, well, then you better start letting me take depreciation off my taxes.
That's true, too. But here's the interesting part about this. If they decide they're going to take taxes for the money that you've made at a yard sale, they're double taxing you.
Absolutely. You've already done paid taxes on that 4 or 5 times over, my friend.
Exactly. Because even if you bought it at a thrift shop or you bought it at another yard sale, wherever, somebody's already paid the tax on that.
That's right.
If that's the case, then you should really not owe anything. There's no more taxes required. But because the state says it is a new sale, it doesn't matter if it's a new product, it's a new sale, then you owe taxes, which is bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. Yes, exactly. You're getting that look on your face like I'm like fucking regulations.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's kind of one of those things that's just completely evil. Now, here's the thing. Here's the really, really cool thing. Unless some locality wants to be a total douchebag, they don't say jack shit about that. They won't come to you and say, the state doesn't hunt you down and make sure that you pay your fucking taxes for the yard sale that you have. And the majority of localities, usually they have a bare minimum of rules when it comes to the yard sales. You can pretty much get away with anything at a yard sale. If you wanted to sell off, livestock, if I wanted to have cows in front of my house, and I could do that. Most people are going to be like, okay, you got cow shit all over your yard now, but hey, your grass is all gone, but hey. No, not hay. It's grass.
It's going to be nice next year.
That's right, exactly. It's been fertilized. No, but seriously, if you wanted to sell that stuff off, you can. They don't care. Most places do not give a shit. But the fact of the matter is, there's just certain things you cannot do at a yard sale. One of those things is prostitution, which is unfortunate because I think prostitution is well overdue in this country. It is by far the oldest profession. There was some caveman named Gronk who was looking at getting himself a little Gronkette, and she was like, which translates to, you better fucking pay me. Or
either with a dead chicken or...
Right, or something. Give me this little dinosaur over here. We're fucking doing something. Because I'm going to give you some pussy, but you're going to give me something to eat. And basically, that's why it's the oldest profession. If anybody ever wondered, that's what it comes down to.
The second oldest profession was Unc Cosby, who invented the...
the Unclude. He's got some Uncludes. He's going to give it to the bitches. And,
he gave it to Gronkette.
I'm going to give me some pussy tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
Hey.
Which translates into, look, either we fucking or I'm fucking.
Quite far. That's exactly correct. But no, that's definitely a thing. One of those things you can't sell at yard sales. Another thing you cannot technically sell at yard sales is anything that has to be licensed and cannot be transferred right there on the spot.
You mean like an automobile?
Correct. An automobile would be one of them. Real estate is another one. Firearms is another one.
Fireworks?
Firearm pieces. No. Fireworks you can definitely give away, especially now since Pennsylvania's moved to a completely open law. You can have pretty much any fireworks you want, which is great because I can go right down to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where they have a fireworks shop down there, and I can buy the big boom booms, which I have seriously considered doing for this 4th of July season coming up. And who knows, maybe if I can't apply this money to anything else, it'll be the best damn Jeff and Dan fireworks you'll ever fucking see, And I have a great backyard for that kind of shit, too. Although the neighbors probably won't like it so much. But Fuck them. Anyway, but yeah, so, but taxation and yard sales is just, honestly, I think the government should just keep their nose out of it. This stuff has already been done. It's already been bought, purchased, paid for, has all its sales taxes been paid for, blah, blah, blah. The only way that would not be taken advantage of is if you got some of the stuff that you got from businesses. In other words, straight from businesses who were tax exempt. You know what I mean? Like they bought their products, didn't have to pay sales tax on them because they were going to resell them or what have you. And then you bought them out at wholesale from that company, and you didn't pay taxes on it either. But that's not necessarily the case because even then, usually when you buy them at that point, you pay sales tax. Which a great example of that is I have done some auction hunting. I have bought some things from local auctions, and at the end I had to pay not only a premium, which is their way of saying, hey, we're going to take your money too, but they had to pay a sales tax on everything. So... yeah. So, even though, again, somebody paid tax on it, somebody else paid tax on it, now I'm paying tax on it. When does it fucking stop? It's like an endless cycle of shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. So, exactly, I know.
Yeah. So I think somebody just needs to go, you know what? Let's just get a nice tax out there and then done. You don't have to pay a tax anymore. If it already existed, you don't have to pay a tax anymore. This cow, you already paid a tax on it. It's done.
Dude, I am totally hip to saying 10% of your personal income and then maybe a 6% sales tax. That's all we need.
Yeah.
That is...
we'd have to eliminate a lot of programs and stuff.
I'm not quite sure what to do about the Department of Transportation. I don't like siding with government for anything or giving them credit for any fucking thing, but... in the state of Pennsylvania, there's a lot of roads that need to be taken care of, which translates into a lot of money.
Right.
So I don't know where...
we need to do like Germany does. Germany hires out for somebody to come and do their roads. The company that comes in and does it has to do the roads. They have to do it flawlessly. They get inspected like every day for the work that they're doing. And at the end, when all's said and done, there's a guarantee. If that fucking road fucks up within the next 10 years, you're coming out to fix it, and it'll cost us nothing. That's exactly what it has to come down to, man. And we are so afraid of doing that because we're the free market society. We need to make sure that there's money flowing some way, one way or another. But in all reality, man, we would save so much money if we were to do that, if we were to make a company come out and do those jobs. Because in the long run, you're saving cash from those guys who are just standing around from PennDOT, you know, that aren't doing a fucking thing. You know, these companies have to get a road. Oh, and then how long it takes to get a road. You saw what it was like to have to drive down at one point where it was like the bridge is out, the bridge is out, the bridge is out. Every time you came to, you know, that shit was like, what the fuck, you know?
A
you
year.
get to, yeah, a year you had to reroute beyond that shit. A year to replace a little teeny tiny bridge made out of concrete that could have been poured in 3 days. You know, that's just, it's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, but that's, yeah. That's the only thing I think programs and stuff, there really needs to be, I hate to say this, man, because it's not the way I really think, but there needs to be oversight. But there needs to be oversight that is less oversitic. It's more like overblind.
Well,
I'm overly blind. I can see not.
the first thing when it comes to, we're getting way off track.
I know,
topic
right?
Here.
It's okay.
But I do have to say this, though, when it comes to road repair and road work and stuff. Hey, how comes you guys aren't doing it at night? Why are you tying up traffic?
Right.
And you are tying up production, so whether you realize it or not, you are costing big money just in traffic tie-ups.
Right.
I mean, when they paint the lines on the road, they block the road or they back the road up and the road is way backed up. If you did that at night, folks,
There'd be less traffic, but then again, you might hit somebody. Here's the thing, man. I know you've seen this. I've seen it a billion times, and it pisses me off every fucking time. You're driving down the highway. All of a sudden, it's a 2-lane highway. You're tooling down. All of a sudden, you see right lane closed ahead. Next 23 miles. Why? What the fuck are they doing for the next 23 miles that's going to require me to have to stay in the left-hand lane and get clogged up with the rest of these dumb fucks that are out here driving when they shouldn't be?
a 100-yard patch.
Right, exactly. That's one piece of little shit in the middle of fucking nowhere that's a 22-mile mark.
I think what they do, I'm not sure about this, I think what they do is they'll work on this 100-yard patch
Yeah.
and then move on to the next 100-yard patch.
Right, exactly. They couldn't move the cones. No, we're too fucking lazy for that shit.
I was going to say, it would only take a day.
Yeah. The one place I know for a fact that has really decent roads, except when you go into cities and stuff, is Maryland. Maryland's actually got really good roads. And the really wild part about that is they have less of an income coming in than places like Pennsylvania.
They have less roads, too.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I would. They're half of Pennsylvania.
Oh, they're not even half. They're like maybe a quarter the size of Pennsylvania. But I wouldn't say that because you got to go to Baltimore and around that surrounding region and near D.C.
I agree with you.
There's a lot of roads, but they all suck.
I would equate with you to Philadelphia.
True.
I do have to give Maryland some credit. They do have some nice roads.
Yeah, when you're on the boondocks,
out of the city.
Yeah, when you're in the boondocks, man, they're smooth as shit, like glass.
Like I'm sure you've taken 270 from Baltimore and then 15.
Yes.
Up through Gettysburg.
Yeah,
that's beautiful road.
Always. And there's one part of 270 when you're down near the D.C. area. It's 7 lanes. 7 lanes on one side. Yeah, dude, 7 lanes. I'm like, what the fuck? There's 5 lanes you're driving on, and there's 2 high occupancy lanes that there's other people can be driving on.
Can you imagine 40 years ago in the 7th lane there used to be a house?
A lot of those probably used to be houses, and yeah, they got ripped out, and there's probably people pissed off about that. There's always going to be city, and that's the thing. You know, just real quick on politics, I'm not even going to go too far into it, but what I'm going to say is this. Everybody has a pissy moment about politics. When it comes to whatever situation, this president, that vice president, this senator, that senator, whatever, they're going to have a real shitty moment because this person doesn't pay attention to this one thing that you have a feeling about. You know, oh, I love the fact that we help the children with cancer, but fuck this president. He doesn't give a shit about kids with cancer. But maybe he gives a shit about veterans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
so it's like a trade-off. There's always going to be that kind of situation. Now, I got to say 100%, I'm not saying that about President, dude. Anyway, honestly, I think there's some good points to him and there's some bad points to him. And there's a lot of bad points to him. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing.
he's doing a great job.
Of not knowing what he's doing. That's exactly right. He's doing a wonderful job of not knowing.
I think he's doing a good job.
I don't think he's doing it.
And I'm gonna call it right here, right now.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
think this is gonna happen.
He's winning in 2020.
Well, he will win in 2020.
Fuck no,
But
that ain't gonna happen.
in case he does lose in 2020, I'm calling it right now. Right now, I am the author of this, so everywhere this happens, you need to be paying me $3.
Okay.
You're fired.
Oh,
That's going to be on every goddamn newspaper across America.
Yes.
And they're all going to act like, look at me, I'm original. I took Donald Trump's famous quote line and turned it against him. You're fired. And so did every other 5,000 newspapers.
Right.
And NBC and ABC.
It's going to be
CNN.
as big as Dewey
You're
beats...
fired.
It's going to be as big as Dewey beats Trump, or Truman. Remember those newspapers from like Cheers or whatever? The guy's holding it up and it says
Yeah.
Dewey beats Truman and it was totally wrong.
So can I go ahead and somehow get that trademark so whenever these people... Because I know that's going to happen if he
You
loses.
can't trademark that, unfortunately, but I agree with you. I have a funny feeling that's going to come up. Whether or not it's he loses in 2020 or if he loses next week. You know what I mean? Because, yeah. Anyway, that's a long story. Let's get back to yard sales.
Yeah, let's get back to yard sales.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the taxation of yard sales
Yep.
and how that works. And what really sucks is don't ever try and keep the amount of money because honestly, to yard sales, nobody fucking knows exactly how much money. I've had probably in my lifetime, had like 5 or 6 yard sales, and I've never walked away knowing I made $310.22. Never. I've always been like, man, I made a lot of money. I don't know how much I made, but I made a lot of money. But no, yeah, that's one thing you can never, and that's the reason why it's very difficult to go in and pay taxes on something like that. Well, how much did you sell? $10 worth. Okay.
Again, yeah.
Here's your 60 cents. Have a good day.
Again, if you're going to tax me for it, you better let me take off some depreciation
Right.
because
Yeah.
I've actually taken a loss on that.
Yeah.
I can prove I've taken a loss on that.
Sure. Yeah, because the amount of
tax
money
me.
that is, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to take that fucking, I'm going to itemize every fucking piece. You better believe it. Okay, so let's move to the classes of people who go to yard sales.
Yeah. Let's
ahead.
berate people.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I don't have anything.
Oh, shit. You don't have anything?
Except I can just probably maybe
Let's
freelance
just start
something.
free fucking basing. Oh,
Okay,
what? Wait a minute,
well,
what?
The classes of people, the hoity-toities, the upper echelon of people,
Oh, yeah.
the richest of rich, do not need to go to yard sales. They do not need to go. If they want some decorations, they want it new anyways. They got the money.
Right.
No problem. They'll just go buy new decorations.
Right.
Same way with clothes.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see wealthy people stopping at yard sales.
Yeah,
And what a shame for them because there's all kinds of neat little treasures.
exactly.
Stuff that you go ahead and spend $20 for that one replacement part
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
The next class of people would probably be the living pretty good but still go to yard sales,
Yeah. Just to see what you can find.
or they're in that. They've made good, wise money decisions, and
Yes.
sometimes good, wise money decisions is to buy a 50-cent shirt at a yard sale.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good, yeah. It's a prudent,
Then
or
you have
frugal.
Then frugal, right?
Yes.
Then you have middle class people who go there just because the value of money.
Right.
They don't really need all these new things, but they're so cheap and they have the money that they're going to get it anyways.
Right.
And in the last class, people who really need to shop at yard sales
Right. Because they have no cash.
because they have no money.
Yeah, they're like, I have this last
Or
$20
very
bill.
little- or very little bit of money.
This last $20 bill's got to last me a whole week. I got to eat somehow.
No,
But damn it, I've got to buy this Nintendo system for $14. I've haggled them down to 14 from 90. Anyway. Yeah.
would you buy clothes at a yard sale?
I would, depending on, well, usually with me, it's always a bitch situation because every time I go to a store, my wife will tell you I bitch and gripe and complain because they never carry shit my size. They don't carry stuff that's going to fit me. They don't. So yard sales is really kind of that super hit or miss. You kind of have to drive by and go, fat people, okay, let's stop. So
You look like my size, sir.
Exactly. Hey there, big fella. Got any shirts? Can I go in and look in your drawers?
How about your wife's drawers?
No, seriously, just get her to pull her pants down, huh? Anyway, no. I was actually thinking about more classes of people, not necessarily like the economic classes, but the classes of people like treasure hunters. Have you ever had treasure hunters come to your yard sales?
Yes.
They're the ones that are like, oh, I got to try and find the next big thing that's going to sell well.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh my God, it's a Jeff Gordon collectible baseball card that somebody ripped out from the back of a box of cereal. I've got to have that. You know what I mean? It's that kind of shit. And at the same time, you're kind of like, okay, cool. You know, I'm good. I'm glad that you're getting that for a quarter or whatever, and you're going to turn around and sell it for $150. But when you seriously turn around and rub it in my face, I'm going to sell this on eBay. I'm going to get like $400 for it. You fucking prick. I was like, give me $1 for it then. You know, don't fuck me over with a quarter. Give me $1. You know.
Here's a class of people.
Yeah.
At yard sales, and this is the class that I really cannot stand.
Right.
Jew down everything.
Oh yeah.
Buy nothing.
Oh my God, yes.
Take 50 cents for this.
Yeah.
Take $1 for this.
Right.
This. Take $5 for this.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay. You know, and you're like,
I'll be back.
Everything, yeah, everything. You're like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll take that. Okay, cool. Then they put it down, and then they will keep walking around. My father-in-law, we had a yard sale last year. My father-in-law was, he's a very good man, but he shocks me sometimes with some of the stuff that he does, like the bravado, the balls, the actual balls this man has, phenomenally large. A guy comes to the yard sale, okay, and it's like, yes, not that I fondle his balls or anything, but you know, I just know that they have, because, you know, he has the testosterone to do this kind of shit, and I'm just like, wow, I can't fucking believe you did that. But like, this guy comes to the yard sale, and there's a couple people there, and he comes in, and he starts looking around, and this guy is picking up and fingering fucking everything. Like literally every damn thing on the table. If it's got something near it, he's pushing that out of the way to get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that your daughter?
I'm fondling this. Do you mind?
How much for this?
How much for this? Yes.
By the hour?
How much for the little girls? How much for the women? But no, freaking, like, this guy's going through everything. And my father-in-law is just looking at him, and he just goes... And I'm just like, all right. And I'm like, I don't know what that's about, but okay. So this guy's like, he's like, you got any of this stuff? And he's talking about like some kind of circular saw blades or something. And my father-in-law is like, no. He's like, if you don't see it on the table, we don't have it. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know, I'd probably say the same thing too. So then the guy's over, he's fondling more shit. And finally he's looking around and he's like, he goes, you know, I could have gotten some of these at a different yard sale and a little bit cheaper than this. You take $5 for this? My father-in-law's like, no. He's like, whatever the price is on the thing, that's what it is. Now, he only did this to this guy, okay? Not anybody else. Anybody else came up, they were like, you know, would you take $2 instead of $3? He's like, yeah. This guy just got on his crawl.
Yeah,
fucking got in there, man, and just driving him fucking batty. Finally, he just says to him, the guy's like, he starts trying to haggle down some shit. And my father-in-law's just like, he's like, listen, he's like, I'd rather sell you this stuff, but you know what? I don't want to sell anything to you. And I was just like, holy shit. I was like, fucking A, man. I was like, you know, I live here, right? This guy's going to come back with a brick. I can just see it. And he's like, would you take $5 for that? And my father-in-law was like, no. He's like, I'm not going to sell that to you. I'm not selling you anything. And the guy's just like, oh, well, he's like, no, well, don't get all like that. I'm going to buy something. I'll pay it. I'll pay this. I'll pay that, you know. apparently this tactic of my father-in-law's works really, really well because this guy came back to the yard sale 3 times and purchased shit every fucking time and at full price. I shit you not, man. And I'm just like, and my father-in-law, I asked him after the very first time, I was like, wow, I was like, that's really brave. I mean, you're not afraid of like somebody snapping or being a real shit. And he's like, no. He's like, people aren't like that. And I was just like, yeah, well, you don't live in this society, do you?
This is the 90s, pal.
90s, yeah. This isn't the 90s shit. This is like, I'm going to pull out a gun and, kill everybody in the school.
Did you look at me cross-eyed?
Exactly. So that's the thing. And, the guy came back, and my father-in-law he was short with him every single time. He was just really short with him. The guy's fucking dick to him the whole fucking time.
And his check kept getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, I'm like, what the fuck, man? I was like, $80 later. I'm like, God, this guy's got to stop. You know what I mean? This is fucked up. But yeah, he came back every time, kept buying shit. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Come back for more and more abuse.
Yeah.
Must have been a woman from Hanover in a former life.
Yeah, exactly. Berate me some more. Berate me some more. I'll tell you I love you. Anyway.
What other classes of people we got at yard sale?
There are other classes of people. There are the eBayers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The eBayers are the ones like this. Okay. Now this goes both ways. This is the one person that walks up and is just like, oh man, yeah, I'd really like to buy that. Hang on a second, let me check. And they go on their fucking phones and they go looking through eBay, right, to see like, well, what's it going for? Because it's the best research available. It really is. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's the model number. Okay, model number. Oh yeah, that one went for $122, and they're at it for $1.50. I don't know if I should buy it. It's like They kind of irk me. Those are the ones that kind of get me because I'm like, okay, yeah, you can do the research, but guess what? I'm not here to sell this shit on eBay. I'm here to sell it. I just want to get it the fuck out of my house. Take it and go. Yeah. Would you take $1 for it? No, I want $1.50 for it.
I say if you have to Jew somebody down from $1, I shouldn't use that word.
Yeah, that's horrible.
But I don't know any other word.
You're a huckster. You're going to be a huckster. You're going to haggle down.
If you want to haggle someone over $1.50,
yeah,
get it down lower than that.
Yeah, for something that's substantial too, like this Cuisinart food processor. You fucking asshole. Yeah, pay $1.50
I don't
for
think
it.
I would want to sell it to you.
Right,
either.
exactly. Cheap
I'll
son
keep
of a bitch.
it.
Right. And
All right, I'll take $1.
That's the one thing you kind of got to go. You know what? I'm not going to fucking sell that. I'm not going to sell that for $1.50. Because I mean for $1, because you want it for $1. What? Because you don't have 2 quarters? You got $2, don't you? Give it to me. I got 2 quarters. I'll give you. So that's the thing. There's the eBayers, and then there's the eBay yard salers. These are the ones that hold the yard sale, and you get there, and everything's priced like they looked it all up on eBay. This DVD player is a classic. It's only 42 years old. But man, is it worth $126 on eBay. So we're going to sell it for $123. It's like, yeah, I don't think you're going to get that. And I'm not willing to sit here and haggle you down to like freaking $2 because that's really what it's worth, You'll notice that a lot on collectible glass. And that kind of irks me whenever I see that too, because my wife at one point in time was very collectible, like that kind of shit. She used to, and she probably will again at some point, used to get collectible glass. And what I mean by...
Are you talking about like Princess House and...
Yes, I'm talking like Smurf glasses.
Okay.
Like, oh, it's got the whole set of the Smurfs from the 90s or from the 80s. Yeah, and this glass set that you bought at Arby's or you bought at freaking Citgo, which I don't know why Citgo had a fucking... whole box of Smurf glasses that you could buy. They did, and you bought them. So we're buying them from you at $2 a glass. What? $2 a glass? I'm like, that's bullshit. Although on eBay, it does say they're $12 a piece. So, I will admit that I have done the eBay thing occasionally. It depends on what it is, though. Like, if it's something that I'm spending $50 on, yeah, I'm going to look it up and see. But that's only if I want to resell. You know what I mean? If I'm keeping it for myself, I go by sentimental value. What does it cost? Oh, it's $10. Okay. Like for instance, for Father's Day, I've asked my daughters, both of them, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode or not, but I asked both of them to, usually I don't ask for anything. I just say, I want us to get together, have dinner, and that's what I want for Father's Day. I want us to have dinner together as family, everything be good. This year I have a request.
Ooh.
And the request is an unusual request, but it's not too far-fetched because, I'm building a writing room, so I have the ability to, sit down and do some writing and stuff upstairs from jokes and shit like that. And I think what I'm trying to do is build up my book collection. I really want to be able to get a decent amount of books, but at the same time, I need something that helps me function when it comes to writing stuff. And sometimes online just doesn't work. A great example for that is trying to come up with another word for the. You can go to Thesaurus and you can type in the word the, and it doesn't have an answer. You can go into a Thesaurus and type in the word you, and it doesn't have an answer. Did you know that? Yeah, go to thesaurus.com at some point. You don't have to do it right now. But go there and type in the word you, Y-O-U, and then hit enter, and it comes up blank. It says, did you mean Lou? I'm like, no, I didn't mean Lou. I meant fucking you.
You meant goo?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'm like, I told the girls, I said, what I would really like is for you to buy me, or to find me, is really what I want them to do, is find me a dictionary in Thesaurus, an unabridged dictionary in Thesaurus. If it's Webster or Merriam-Webster, if it's just Webster, which I did find a Webster dictionary today, but I knew that they're going to be looking, so I did not purchase it. But, that or a Roget's or something, you know what I mean? But it has to be unabridged. It has to have all the things in it. It has to be that really thick fucking dictionary you remember when you were a kid that was like this thick, and you're like, holy shit, that's a dictionary. God damn, that's huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's look up vagina.
Yeah. The vagina and penis pages were worn out really bad. Like, oh, geez. And there's like streaks from where people had run their finger down the page so many times going, there's penis, So, yeah, exactly. And zygote, that was another one, too. We used to be like, zygote, oh, that's interesting. That's like one of the last words in the dictionary. Cool, zygote.
What is zygote?
Zygote's an egg, basically eggs of an animal, any animal. Mammals, usually. But like eggs that are stored inside the body, like a human egg is for the most part. Yeah.
You still have zygotes?
No, I don't. I have the little squirmy guys. Yes, my
My zygotes are now pygmy goats.
I wanted to go on Twitter because we're really popular on Twitter. That's a fun thing to say. I wanted to go on Twitter and just be like, my father said that he was going to share no. Damn it, I forgot how it went. Shit. Oh well. Anyway, fact of the matter is, I wanted them to get me that. I want to get those two books, and that's what they're going to be looking for me. The thing is, though, is that I don't really want new. I want like older, you know what I mean? But in decent quality. Ones where the book bindings aren't falling apart and shit like that. Ones that I can actually open up and use on a regular basis.
Maybe you want a new one, a new good quality one.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that'd be great. But man, they're like $190. For that's just for the dictionary. That's just for the dictionary, and that's a leather bound. That's the kind you'd want because they're super bound in that they have the webbing as the binding. But anyway, but the fun part about that is the trying to find those kinds of things when you go to a yard sale. It leads me to my other class of people, which are the hunters. They're the ones that come to a yard sale with a general idea of what they're looking for and only certain categories of things that they want to buy. And when they get there, they're very quick. And I'm sure you've seen them before.
That's me.
Yes, that's kind of me too. I have learned to scan very fast. And I learned that from flea marketing. You go up to any stand and just go, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? And you're on to the next one.
I guarantee you, though, you miss stuff.
You do. And it's unfortunate, too, because one of the other things that I'm looking for lately is artwork. And it's not like it has to be the greatest artwork in the world, but I have this, I'll have to show you later. It's in the writing room. It's
naked picture of me?
Yeah, it's a dandick. No, no, but it's a giant cherry-framed American flag. And it's like a hand-painted, beautiful... I mean, the representation is just beautiful. The way it looks in the room and everything's just fucking awesome. But I'm looking for shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm really looking for manly stuff. I'm looking for fishing lure pictures. Ones that basically real nice frame that just have the different drawn versions of fishing lures or fly lures or or what have you. You know what I mean?
Woman holding a beer.
Yeah, stuff like that, stuff like the manly shit. You know what I mean? Like, but not like the representation of. I'm talking old school manly shit, like 1930s. When you think of men in the 1930s, you think of rugged barbarianism at its best, but a defined cultural value. So fishing was huge back then, and that's one of those things. Another really good one for me is golf. Because golf is a very civil sport, but at the same time, it's been around for God knows how long. It's been around longer than baseball, football, any of that shit. So it's being civil long enough to try and knock a small little white ball into a hole from 300 yards away or 500 or however fucking far you are. So it's like those. It's like I want it to be manly, masculine, but at the same time, I want it to be
soft.
Not necessarily soft, but kind of
porn.
Softcore porn. No, I want it to be kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? I want it to be civilized.
Civilized.
Civilized. Right. So I don't want any. I don't. I need it to be civilized. And my Old Spice.
Old Spice! Not to get it on!
Yeah. Get out of the chicken coop, Old Spice. Yeah, exactly. So, no, I definitely, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stuff like that. So, that being said, when I go to a yard sale now, which I haven't done a lot lately, but I probably will at some point when my life starts calming down, I want to be able to go in and look for something specific or a group of something specifics and say to myself, where would this fit well in my life? Do you know what I mean? Whether or not it will actually fit in my life. Will this item that I see here on this table going for 75 cents fit into my life somewhere really cool? And if I don't have an answer for that, then I will not purchase the item. On the other hand, if I say to myself, where would this fit into my life even in the future? Like, I know I don't have a bookshelf right now or a bookcase right now, but I know I'm going to. And I want to buy this old vintage typewriter to put on this old bookcase or this bookcase that I'm getting, but I don't have it yet. I'm still going to buy the typewriter for $10. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I'm going through. So that's what it is for me to yard sale. It's a very categorized thing. What other ones can you think of that are similar to that?
Well, I kind of taken notes, and you got the hunters, the eBayers, the needers.
Right.
And people really don't matter. They're kind of background, but they just get drug along to these things. I call them the entertainers.
Yeah.
They're just being entertained. They're just going back a stroll of memory lane. Oh, look at that. We had this when we were kids.
Right.
They're not buying anything.
Right.
It's museum time to them.
Yeah, they're taking it in like it's a museum. Exactly. Good observation, man. Yeah, that's definitely it. Any other ones that you can think of, the people that show up? I think I like the old folks that get the look on their face like, oh. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, like my yard sales, if it's just my shit, usually it's like books and electronics. And people are like, yeah, 9 times out of 10. My wife's like, I don't know how you sold all that shit, but you sold all that shit. It's crazy. But I know what people like, usually, And old people come to my yard sales and be like, ew. I'm like, what, you don't like DVDs? What's a DVD? Oh, you fuck. I was like, well, I guess you're not going to enjoy it here. Here's a CB radio. Go fuck yourself.
I like CB radio.
I know, so do I, believe it or not. I just saw one the other day and I thought about buying it, but it was $200.
Like, those are a very handy tool.
Oh yeah,
in the right areas, particularly interstate driving.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so, yeah. Or if you're going on tour, like if you're not tour, but if you're taking a family caravan someplace,
one car communication to another,
right, yeah, because it's always constant. You are right next to each other, so there's no loss of wavelength. So, yeah, you can talk to each other like you're damn near in the same car. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But
all right, hey, you want to go ahead and do the last thing we got? 11.
Yes.
11 things no one will buy at your yard sale.
Yes.
Oh.
And we could probably add some to that, too.
Coming in at number 11.
At
the top 11 things no one will buy at your yard sale.
Turn that shit up.
That's the sound of the police.
Okay.
Hand-me-down records from musicals, string quartets, and lounge singers. Notice they didn't say, like, metal bands
Right.
or top 40.
Or Broadway shows.
This is old stuff,
Right.
like Lawrence Welk.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Which is weird because, like, that shit, sometimes people get into that. Like,
or
they like the-
Brigadoon.
Benny Goodman. And,
Benny
you know,
Goodman.
and his orchestra where he plays the clarinet. You know, that kind of shit.
Coming in at number 10,
Number 10.
Old
Coming a few
shoes.
tens.
old shoes.
Yes, old shoes. Yes, unless they're dress shoes. That's the only thing I think that I might consider, but I wear such a big size shoe.
This one here says big heavy furniture, this survey here.
Big heavy furniture?
Yes, like couches.
I'd say number 7. Or number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9 is big heavy furniture.
Big heavy furniture.
Big heavy furniture. Yeah, that might be true because you don't have anything to carry it in or what
True.
have you. Yeah.
Coming in number 8, stuffed animals, old and new. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there
don't
it
think
is.
they really do sell that great.
Yeah. The only thing I think you're going to be able to sell really well is going to be the Thai Beanie Babies. Or the anything like that.
Anything with a brand name label on it, like the Steelers.
Yes, yeah, that or if they have a known label to them, like Precious Moments, or you know what I mean, things like there's the one Boyd's Bears. Boyd's Bears sell really, really well around here because people know Boyd's and they know that they're really super high quality and yes.
Boyd's Bears introduces the Gay Bar series.
It's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining bears.
Big hairy bears.
Yeah.
Haribo bears.
Bears, boys.
Berry, berry,
bears.
bo, hairy, bo, berry. Coming in at number 7 in our survey, those tacky travel souvenirs. Those ain't gonna buy. Like that St. Augustine little seashell you got.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's gonna, oh, I want that. I gotta have that.
That's because you got to go there for yourself.
Right.
It's like buying man, I just bought this brand new, this great freaking Ocean City shirt. It's like, I've never been to Ocean City. I always wondered what that was like. Here's a Tampa Bay shirt. I want to wear that too. What the fuck, man? Seriously?
Coming in number 6,
Okay.
your treasure trove is of VHS tapes.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, those are going to be hardcore to sell. We've already discussed that.
I
in
know
transferring.
my wife has 4 bins of 5 bins of VHS tapes. She thinks she's going to get a fortune over at Saturday's Market.
Yeah, I have a totes of those too.
This dude doesn't even sell what he's got. He don't have any money to buy anymore.
Right, exactly. He's working during the week to buy more.
Coming in number 6,
Okay.
rickety old exercise equipment. Yeah, that ain't selling.
Yeah,
Let's face it, man. As soon as you buy that $300 tech machine, it's worth $10 when
that's
you
right.
get it home.
Exactly. And that exercise bike you thought you were going to use a lot and use twice, nobody else is going to buy it. But if they do, they're going to use it twice too.
See, that's when you have to remarket it as not as an exercise bike, but a lovely clothes rack.
That's right. I'm hanging my clothes up in here. What do you think about that?
Coming in at number 5,
Yes, sir.
half-used Bath and Body products.
Yeah.
Why you would even think about setting something out like that? And I've seen that before. Why would you even think of setting a half bottle
Here's
of
a
perfume out?
couple of fucking tampons. Yes, they've been opened. Yes, the paper's stale. Yes, it will hurt going in. Yes, there is a little blood on each of them.
But you're going to save.
Throw a little water on it. It'll get better.
But do it quickly.
Hell, I'll give you some eggs.
Coming in at number 4, you sick pig. Books about outdated technology.
That is so true, dude. I tried to do that a couple of times, and I'm just like, why did I do this? This was stupid.
DOS for dummies.
You're right, exactly. Nobody's going to buy that Java 1.0 book. Not ever. Not ever, considering we're on like Java 96, you know? That's the version we're up to now, you know? It's like, holy shit. So,
Stained or faded plastic toys coming in number 3.
Yeah, that's definitely a big no-no. Unless, of course, you don't have any money, then it's okay.
And coming in at number 1, promotional mugs, t-shirts, glassware, and totes.
Yeah.
Meaning like that t-shirt that says the Smith Family Reunion 2011.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna buy that.
Yeah. I think
nobody's gonna buy that.
Yeah. I think they're going to buy the Jeff and Dan stickers, though. I'm going to put those out tomorrow.
Go ahead.
$1 a piece. $1 a piece. You're good. Go ahead. You got it.
Or you can come over here and get 2 for 99 cents.
That's right. Yeah. I found one over there. It was only a quarter. So, yeah. It's to put them on each table, working their way up the driveway. The first one is a quarter. The next one's 50 cents. The next one's 75 cents. The next one's $1. Get to the end, it's like $20. People are like, I'm going back and get the one for a quarter.
Which pile did you get that off, miss? No, you didn't. This came from the $20 pile.
That's right.
This came from the... It's got our autograph, invisible ink on the back.
In the black parts there is where we signed it with a Sharpie.
Hold it under a fluorescent light.
That's right. Oh, I don't have one, but you can trust us as far as you can throw us. But you can trust us. Yeah, no, seriously, I'm going to give out some stickers tomorrow.
All right, go right ahead. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I'm going to try it too. Anyway, what else? What's else? What was number 2?
Number 2 was How Do You Think I Know?
How do you think I know? I don't know.
Oh, number 2 was mattresses.
Mattresses. There you go.
Nobody's going to buy your mattresses
Nobody
because Jeff
wants-
and Dan told everybody not to buy
That's
mattresses
right.
a half an hour ago.
That's right. Your cum stained, piss stained, shit stained, blood stained mattresses. Nobody wants. Yeah, exactly.
Again, you'll stay in a Motel 6
With all those things cuddled up next to you.
under all the blankets.
That's right. I wonder what they do in that situation if a woman gets on a rag like right then and there, and she doesn't have any coverage. You know what I mean? Some coverage.
Well,
What happens if it bleeds all over the bed? What do they do? Do they charge you for that shit? I mean, think about it. It's like it's not your fault, really.
No.
But I mean, if it's blood all over the bed, like you slaughtered that prostitute, then yeah, it's probably something they're going to charge you for. We have your credit card on file, my friend.
Yeah,
we will
also
charge
have-
you.
You also have her head under your bed.
That's right. Her head. She gave me head, then I took hers. Then I snorted coke off her ass. Headless hooker. That's a new October thing, man. We got to bring that in. We got to make that a thing. I am the ghost of the headless hooker. I sucked a dick, and then I stopped sucking dicks, Yeah, it's gross. Anyway.
Well, instead of getting head, you just take your, see that neck there thing there hanging out where her head used to be?
Reminds me of this one joke. There's this woman. This guy goes into a bar and he's sitting there, he's getting drunk and trash. And all of a sudden, this woman walks in and she's big, burly bitch. I mean, she's fucking huge. She walks up to the bar and goes, "Give me a fucking beer." And the bartender's like, "Okay." And he gives her a beer. She sucks it back. And all of a sudden, she's fucking done in 2 seconds. And she's like, "Give me another beer." And he's like, "Okay." So he gives her another beer. And she's drinking the fuck out of that and puts it down. She's hammering these beers left and right. She looks over at this guy sitting at the bar and she's like, "Hey, honey, let's see you and me go back and get it on. What do you think about that? Sound good?" The guy's a little bit scared, but he's like, "Okay," it kind of turns me on. "Okay, let's do it." "All right, let's go." So they leave and they get back to her house. She's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I got this fantasy that I like to do." She goes, "I got this fake eye. I'm going to pop it out of my head. I want you to fuck me in it. That's right. I want you to skull fuck me." Guy's like, "Oh, okay. All right, cool." So he's like, he's going to town. Finally, he lubes the back of her brain all up. And yeah, he's going all over that shit. Gets done. And she's laying there and she's like, "Oh, God damn it, I need a cigarette." So she pops her eye back in. She's looking around with the one good eye. And she looks over at the guy. And the guy's sketching out. He's like, "Holy fuck." He's like, "I got to leave." This is what he's thinking inside his head. And then he gets up and he's like, yeah, I got to get going. And she's like, all right. She goes, but you need to come back and visit me. He says, okay, I will. She goes, good. I'll keep an eye out for you. Yeah. That one's thanks to the Greaseman, DC 101. Yeah, good old buddy. Anyway, there's another good one too. Speaking of which, you want to be a little racist? Here we go. There's a guy who walks into class. He's in high school. He walks into Spanish class. And the Spanish teacher's up front. She's all like, okay, today class, we're going to learn a little something. And the guy walks in and she's like, she goes, what did you supposed to say to me? And he goes, Buenos dias, senorita. And she's like, what? What? That's not the way you say this. That's not the way you say this. Say it again. Say it correctly. And he's like, Buenos dias, senorita. And she's like, no, you are mangling the language. And she pulls out a switchblade, which is very stereotypical of a bitch at that time. And the guy's like, so he whips out his switchblade and he's like, mangling the fucking language. I'll mangle your language. And she's like, no, you won't mangle my language. There's no way you can do it. He's like, you mangle my fucking language all the time. She's like, no, I do not mangle your language. He goes, yeah, bullshit. He goes, I want you to say to me, I want to go shopping in my Chevy. I want to go shopping in my Chevy. So, okay, see, yeah, you fucking mangle my language. I don't mangle your language. And she takes a swipe at him. And he takes a swipe at her. And she takes another swipe, and she misses completely, and he takes his fucking blade, and he stabs it right into her fucking gut. She hits the ground, and she's sitting there bleeding, and just before she dies out, before her eyes lose all that fucking flavor from them, before she's actually completely dead, he looks down right into her face and says, Buenos dias, señorita. Another Greaseman. That guy's fucking awesome.
I could die in peace now.
I know, right? She's like, I think I can die okay now. He's 80. He's good. So, yeah. He's good. So, yeah. So, what else we got?
Well, we have the top 10 most important things in life. We could do that. That seems like to be the last thing up for tonight.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of an issue doing that. At some points in time, it just seems like every time we go to say the top 10 most important things in life, and then we say, let's do it. Ah, damn it. There it is.
There it is again.
Those guys know. This.
Well, you know, we're out of time. Once again, discounters. As the show must now come to a close. But before we go, Jeff and I just want to thank our producers, Beaver and Buffcoat. Thanks, guys. Should you have any questions, comments, or concerns about tonight's show, or any of other show, or anybody else's show, or dental implants, please drop us a line at jeffanddan@jeffanddan.com. And that wraps it up for this week. But have no fear, we return next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, jeffanddan.com. So until then, fellow flea marketeers, have a good night and a great week.
All right.
Clean that shit up.